All right, well, we're back.
Here we
Another
are.
week has passed, kind of.
We were just here yesterday. We're a little
We
behind.
were, yeah,
That's okay though.
yeah, we'll get back on track.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we are on episode 9,
9. Yes.
and I really liked this episode, or in the sense
Yeah,
that I felt like it had more tribe or just like camp stuff,
it did. It did. I was gonna
which is
say, I
what we
think they were
wanted.
listening to us the last
Yeah,
episode that we were talking about it,
yeah,
but I haven't even posted it yet. Um,
yeah,
so just so everyone knows, we already talked about this and said that there should be way more like tribal camp life, just
yeah,
random day. Like it looks like they just had like a random beach day. Tribe
yeah.
beach time. I'm like, what is this? Baywatch? Like they're all like frolicking on the beach. Like, yeah, it was a good episode. It was.
Yeah, it's
And
probably what they do every day, but they just haven't shown us that part, which is the
mhm,
part we do want to see. So I like that because there was a lot of chit chat and stuff about alliances this episode. So I'm glad they actually gave it the time it deserved for us to see all that,
for sure.
all the interpersonal stuff. So
Yeah, that's the stuff we need to know to be able to
mhm.
understand why some of these moves are being made.
Yeah,
Yeah, this was a
yeah.
sad episode. Matt was almost in tears the entire
Oh,
time.
really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Dang, that would have been awesome.
No, but it was like, oh, David, the hero. He was like the David, but
Yeah,
also the Goliath, like, you know.
right. Well, and this kind of this in this episode, I thought it was interesting and almost like a Chrissy situation too, where like just allowing your own paranoia and kind of like stress to make you just made like I feel like David just like went a little bit off the deep end because he became so paranoid and he just started freaking everyone out and stressing everyone out so much that they were like, you know what, you could have stayed, but because
Yeah, and it was
I
really
think,
sad.
yeah,
It was like, and poor Mary just wanted to
yeah,
be with him, and now she's screwed, and
yeah.
everyone's screwed.
Yeah, she's kind of on the
Because
outs, but I don't think she meant to be. Like, I don't think she was trying to.
no, she was trying to be with the strong team. She was actually there.
Yeah,
She was there more than Camilla was,
yeah.
which is
So,
like, anyway, let's start from the beginning.
yes.
When
So, of
David comes
course,
in,
when David comes in,
yeah, he like starts it off. That's how you know who's going to get voted out. The first person on the screen is the one that's going to get the shot.
really? Is that
Well,
true?
actually, no, because no,
Oh,
the last episode, Mitch was the first one on the screen, but it
oh,
was
okay.
Chrissy that got the shot.
Yes. So we start out with this episode, just like every other episode, where we see everyone coming back from tribal and they are, it's all dark and we're just seeing them chat about what happened.
Yeah.
And of course, Mitch is all upset because Chrissy was like his only other like person kind of left, like that
Hmm.
he felt aligned with. So he's obviously like really bummed. But you know, everyone else, like he didn't seem mad at people, I didn't think. I think he just was like, oh, I'm bummed, but like he wasn't like, how dare you vote her off? So
No.
I feel like everything kind of just got chill really quick and it wasn't a huge deal. Um, in terms of post-tribal stats.
No.
Um,
But
but
David is still wanting Camilla out. Like he's still on his high horse from the previous episode, which is what
yeah,
starts
so
it
yeah.
all.
hmm Yeah, so David wants Camilla out, and then right after that, like the next morning, everyone's just on the beach. And
Hmm.
this is where we get all that beach time, and everyone's just chatting, and everyone's tossing around their ideas about who they want to go, and it was a lot. I thought it was a lot. Just a lot of back and forth, and everyone has their own um like motivations for who they want to keep, and but everyone's trying to not make it too obvious. So yeah, I just thought it was funny because every little conversation was like a different person. But what did you
No.
think
Well,
with all that?
did you notice
Hmm.
that Star can't swim?
Yes. Oh
And
yeah.
Mitch is out there like, go
Hmm.
faster,
Hmm.
kick it, or whatever he was saying. And I'm like, wow, like she like is learning how to swim on Survivor. But she should have
Yeah.
known that she should have done that before she got on Survivor, right?
Yeah, that
Like, why
made me
doesn't she know how
think.
to swim?
I don't know. It made me think back to the water episodes, and I'm like, we've obviously had some where you have to swim, but maybe
I didn't notice that she couldn't swim, but also she kind of sat out a lot. I remember
that's
her
true.
sitting out and like
You're
meeting other
right.
people on the bench. So
Maybe she just sat out
she
the
just
water ones.
avoided. She's funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's funny. I'm like, wow, she doesn't know how to swim. I was very surprised about that. And like,
Yeah. But
sorry,
she's like, when
you're
I
like
get
an
home,
athlete. You're like a Division 1 freaking athlete. Why don't you know? I always think it's
yeah,
so surprising when people don't know how to swim because it's just like second nature
I
to
know. I think that too, because I never,
everyone I know.
and I always think like when people don't know how to swim, they're like, like they're just like moving so fast. And I'm like, you barely gotta do anything to stay afloat, you know?
Yeah, you
I'm
just have
like, you
to
don't have
use
to
your
move that
lungs.
much.
Just taking a deep breath, you're like a
But
big buoy.
yeah. So yeah, I guess I just take it for granted that, you know, that swimming's just not something I think about. But yeah, I guess
Yeah.
some people just
Anyway, so
never have the
that's what I
opportunity or
saw.
whatever.
I remember
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
then I feel like we skipped a whole bunch though, because we're already on the beach thing. We forgot
Well, no,
about,
that's what happened right away. I mean, there's a
is
few different
it?
beach things, but in the
I
morning,
guess.
like right
Yeah.
after the next morning after tribal, they're
Well,
already at the
yeah.
beach. They're just
That's
chatting.
when David and Kyle and Shaheen and David, it was like a David versus Kyle, like all this drama.
Yeah.
With
Right. And that's
Joe.
kind of
And Joe had nothing to say. He's just like listening, like off to the side, like watching
yeah.
them. Yeah.
Right. And David was like, that's when David was kind of confronting Kyle and being like, why are you like, are you okay? You seem weird. And
Oh,
Kyle's just
yeah.
like, I'm fine. It's just that it was like a stressful night and you're still stressing me out.
Yeah.
So, I thought that was kind of funny just because I think that was when you first start seeing that like, um,
The
and
cracks.
I think Joe
Like,
actually
yeah.
in that scene was kind of off
The
to the side, like
anxiety.
watching that. He's like listening to that encounter.
Hmm.
And I think, he's just like David's just getting so hyped up and paranoid and stressed, and everyone else is like, it's okay, So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, it's
yeah.
kind of interesting. And then, of course, Eva doesn't like all the talk about getting rid of this person or that person because she's friends with everybody and,
No, yeah.
she doesn't want some, yeah.
That's how I would be too. I'd be
But,
like, I don't care. Just, yeah. Anyway.
but
But then
yeah,
Eva goes off and
mhm.
creeps at night and
Yes.
immediately gets seen by like a creeper, the hairy creeper, the
Yeah,
hairy like
Shaheen.
Sasquatch, like he's like looks like Sasquatch in the background watching her.
Yeah. I thought it
And
was funny because he wakes up Joe and he's like, Joe, she
immediately,
snuck away. And
yeah.
Joe's just like, I don't care. He's just so like unbothered. He's like, thanks for waking me
Like
up.
not
Like,
even surprised, like really? She's gone? That's
right,
weird. Like not even like
right.
that's weird. Like it's that's weird. Like where is she
Yeah,
going?
I know. Well, and I was
And
like, what if you just had to pee and then someone follows you everywhere? I don't
yeah,
know.
that's
But
true. Don't they kind of like have to go? I mean, maybe they
oh,
don't have to
yeah,
pee as much because they're probably not drinking as much.
sure.
And it's like I heard it's like super dark out there, so you can't really see anything. So I would
Right.
be afraid to go out and pee. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Get bit by a snake.
So maybe it is kind of weird that I mean, it's weird. So it's weird that Joe's not even phased at all.
Yeah.
It's just really weird. And then, so, okay, so then Joe or Shaheen goes, don't go to sleep or something.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna wait up for her. I don't know. It was kind of
Mm,
silly because if
it
immediately in the
was.
morning, Eva's back and talking literally to everybody and telling everybody
Hmm.
exactly what happened and exactly what she has. Like
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
So
So,
anyway, she plays, what does she play a game of? Do you remember that
so
part?
it's not even a game, it's just a choice thing. So she arrives in the forest and there's a little sign, and it basically is like you have an extra vote and you can keep it. But you can also like basically it was like you can just take this extra vote and run away to camp, end of story. Or you can risk it for some extra options. So one of the things was you can risk your extra vote by choosing two options. So one was the safety without power, and then
Hmm.
the other one was lose your extra vote.
Yeah.
So one was like you lose it all, one you get something. So, and then I think she could also risk it. If she did that and
Hmm.
still had it, she could risk it again for another game, which was, or not a game, but it was like an immunity idol, safety without, or sorry, it was immunity idol, or you lose your safety without power.
Okay, yeah. Like
So
all or
she,
nothing at the very end.
yeah. So she only decided to do the first choice, and she chose right because she got the safety without power, but she didn't decide to go further than that, and she just went back to camp.
Yeah, I thought that was a good choice for her because safety without power is basically like an immunity idol.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what is the difference between that? Like, why?
Well, with an immunity idol, you get to vote.
That's true.
Safety without power, you just leave and you don't vote. You just get to leave, but you're
Oh,
safe.
that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess if she had gone further and gotten an immunity idol, then she could have been safe and given that to Joe or somebody else. But
Yeah.
anyway,
She can
so,
give it
but
to
she was smart, I
anybody.
think.
So she
Yeah.
has immunity and safety without power. So her and Joe can use it at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that is exactly what Rachel got from Saul.
Oh, right. That's right.
Safety without power
Yeah.
right when she needed it because she was going
Yeah.
home that day.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Eva has it now. Tells everybody about it.
Mhm.
Like I knew she would. Anyway,
Yeah, I know. And then I think Shaheen felt kind of stupid for like
like,
thinking that,
yeah, uh-huh.
yeah, because he's like, oh, she might lie about it or something. And then like just immediately he's like, oh.
He's like,
And Joe's
oh
like, I
yeah, and
knew
he's
she
like,
would.
I trust her. Oh, he's like, I trust her. She doesn't have to
Yeah.
worry about anything. I trust her. I'm like, you're keeping her around until you like, because
Yeah.
he's kind of like I don't even know if this is. What do you feel about Shaheen thinking about how he thinks that he's manipulating it all and making it all? Oh, I've been planting seeds for 4 days now.
I
I'm
feel
like,
like he thinks he's a bigger player than
have
he
you?
is.
Because four
Like he's,
episodes ago was 4 days ago, and you have been nowhere.
yeah.
Anyway, so you think it's a bunch of bullshit too?
Yeah, I just think
Or
he
like,
thinks that his like effect on the game is larger than it actually is,
yeah, I think
you
David
know?
did that on his very own
Mhm.
by focusing so
Yeah.
much on David and or Kyle and Camilla. Anyway,
Excuse me. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, once she makes that decision and tells everybody about it, there's really nothing else that happens at camp except we see Star learning to swim and we see Kyle talk about his past.
that is,
Um,
yeah, his
so
little,
there's
yeah.
that.
Matt loved
And
that
then,
part.
oh, did he?
He hated it.
Oh,
Like this is and well, he didn't really. He's like, this isn't a sob story. It's like it came off as like a story, but it was just like a little, oh, you were just a shithead kid before you grew up. Oh,
yeah.
like you don't get a sob story for that. Like, good for you. You grew
Yeah.
up. That's what people do. That's what everyone does, right?
Yeah. It seemed kind of random too, because
Like,
he's never
come
talked
on.
about like his personal life. So I was like, why did they just like
Well,
put that in there?
it
But
felt like he was trying to like get on Joe's good side, so Joe
oh,
would be like more offended that to
hmm
like David and like try to get David out.
hmm
It kind of worked.
yeah.
I'm like, Joe's not gonna fall for it. Joe's gonna like punch him
Right.
in the stomach and say, "Grow up, you little fool. Like, I don't care about your shithead college past. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care how many bottles of liquor you had on your top cabinet in your dorm room. No one
hmm
cares."
Yeah.
Like, jeez, Kyle. But no, he cared. And so that is kind of a little bit why David went home because of Kyle's
Yeah.
little sob story.
Yeah. And also, I think because he has a little heart to heart with Joe, Kyle does. And Joe is talking about how with the Chrissy vote, um, I guess David was like, I thought we were doing Camilla. And but like you and Joe's like, no, we were always going to do Chrissy. And Joe felt kind of like David was trying to manipulate his like sense of like honor or tr
Yeah.
like honesty.
Yeah.
And that like
Hmm.
kind of pissed Joe off. So
Hmm.
he, and that's when he makes that comment, like his demeanor has changed, in the
Yeah, that
last
was
like
like
day.
after. Yeah, he like came to a
Yeah.
realization after he talked to Eva, the all
Yeah.
evangelical person with all the answers, according to Joe, goes and talks to Eva. Eva has zero things to say, and then he just has all this epiphany in front of the camera. And
Mhm.
what was I gonna say about David? Yeah, so David did tell Joe that he kind of like didn't put his word out, like so his word isn't good, like something like that.
Yeah.
And Joe's face was like, "Meh," like what the hell? You know,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
my ego, not my
Right.
my word.
My
Excuse me,
word.
but you're going home now because you said that.
Hmm.
And also, Kyle has he's gonna be fun when he get back home. He's gonna be having borderline alcoholism.
Oh my
I was just like,
gosh.
oh my gosh, his story just cracked me up. Just Matt's, you just should have been there for Matt. I need to record him.
Yeah, his commentary.
Yeah, so then we go into the challenge,
Yeah.
the bicep challenge.
And I hadn't seen this one. It must be one of the ones they did on a season that I missed, but
Honestly,
I
I
thought this
haven't
was
really either.
interesting.
This might be a new one, but
Yeah,
it
maybe
could be,
so.
I don't know, it might be just tweaked a little bit.
Yeah. And
It's pretty
I thought
basic.
it's very basic.
Yeah,
It's literally just a matter of holding your
holding it
hands
up with your
up.
biceps, like just like super curled.
Yeah, and I was surprised how
And
quickly everyone fell
oh,
out.
I know.
Like it must have been really sensitive, the little
Something.
creation.
I mean,
Hmm.
Star didn't last. She was like pulling a Cedric.
Yeah, pulling
Like,
the center. Yeah, I feel like everyone underestimated how like much you have to push on it or something because it seemed like everyone would be like looking normal and then like just all of a sudden the ball would fall and they'd
well,
be
it's
like,
like all of
"Whoa."
a sudden, like their arms would just like like twitch or
Yeah,
something, and it like just was just enough to let the ball out. And that's
right.
kind of yeah. Oh my gosh. So they kind of yeah, they went out ding 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 ding, and then it was all of course Joe and
Hmm.
David at the end,
Yeah.
and
And I really thought
David had
David was
it
gonna win.
basically. I
Hmm.
know, but he just fucked up.
Yeah, that was crazy because David or Joe's was like right at the edge, like about to fall off. And he's just trying to hang in there. And David just like la la la, like all
He just
chill.
lost his
But
concentration. Just
yeah. So
he lost his
yeah,
eyes.
his just like boom. And he fell off the stand, which was one of the rules. You have to stand on this little block, and he fell off
Hmm.
and touched the ground. So yeah.
Such a shame. That was heartbreaking. I bet you were like, were you cheering?
I wasn't really necessarily, I was kind of cheering for Joe at this point. I
Yeah.
wasn't really cheering for David, but
Oh, I
David
was
just took
cheering
it
for
so
David.
hard. Like he took it
He
super
did. He
hard
did
that
take it really.
everyone
I
was
think it's
just,
because he knew he was going home. He was probably just getting those vibes and just
yeah,
knew and just couldn't stop freaking out.
right. And then it kind of like made it worse for him too, because at the end when Jeff like gives Joe the um necklace and stuff, then David starts kind of like not talking crap about Joe, but just like, he just kind of was like a sore loser about it.
Yeah.
And I
I don't
think
really,
everyone was like,
yeah.
"Mhm."
I'm like, come on, stop it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he made
Mhm.
some comment. I'm trying to see. I'm just pulling it up again here. So I forget what he said exactly. Uh, but Jeff is like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically Joe was just saying like it's so hard and you get so close to the end, that you don't know if you're gonna win. And then that's when Jeff is like, David, is that part of the despair you're feeling? Like I feel like Jeff always like has a way of asking these questions.
Yeah, and
And
having
Jeff
those
is
right
like,
words.
yeah, he's like, you look down like I've never seen before. David's like, yeah. And David's like, I should have won that. And I mean, I get what he was saying, but I just think like it kind of almost took away from Joe's win, and that kind of like rubbed people the wrong way. That's all. Even though he wasn't saying anything about Joe, but
No,
kind of like
yeah, I know.
overshadowed the
It's, you know
fun of
what?
Joe
It's like,
winning.
yeah, for sure it was. And there's no way that if David won, Joe would have been all too. And I don't even think people would have cared that it took away from
Yeah.
David because it's all about Joe. Joe's the
Hmm.
alpha and David's, because it's like two alphas, like they just can't be in the
Yeah.
same. So,
Well,
and it
someone's got to
was, and
lose.
he knew if he didn't get it, he was gonna go home. So that's why. And it was
Right.
sad because it was. And then even at Tribal, it was so, I'm like, no one's saying anything, not even
Yeah.
like Mary. Mary's not like, oh, like it was just really
Yeah.
weird.
It was weird. And remember Kyle made that comment when they're back at camp, and Mary's like consoling David, and Kyle's like, it almost looked like they were, I'll just say, very close friends. And I was like,
Wait,
what?
what?
Remember that? So like Mary, like they're back at camp after the thing, after the challenge, and David's all like, oh, like down on his
Uh-huh.
luck, and Mary's there, like consoling him.
Uh-huh.
And then like as an aside to the camera, Kyle says, he's like, I don't want to like make any assumptions, but they just looked like very close friends. Like he was kind of insinuating that there was like more going on
Oh,
there. But
interesting.
the
Huh.
cameras didn't show anything like that. So who
Yeah.
knows? But I just
Ooh.
thought that was like random to throw in there. Like, I
Uh-huh.
don't know.
That's
But
interesting. I want to look that up now. Okay, send
yeah,
us links on that.
right?
Mary and
So
David? That's
yeah, weird.
crazy. Love it.
Weird.
Gosh, they make a baby? I want to see that.
Oh my
Boy,
gosh.
girl. No, I want to see the baby.
Right. I
Okay, anyway.
know.
Um
I know what you meant.
Okay.
Um,
So awkward. So, okay, they
yeah.
just did the bicep challenge. They came home. David and Mary making a baby.
Yeah.
Reward. There and Joe got to pick people to
Hmm.
go on this reward.
Hmm.
Immediately he picks starving little shriveled up Mitch, who's literally sitting like a little worm. And then he picks Shaheen for some reason.
Mhm. Yeah, that was random.
Yeah. And then, of course, Eva. I'm like, you should have just
Hmm.
picked Eva, right? Like, and then Shaheen. That was a
Hmm.
weird order for him.
Right.
I don't know what he's trying to do. So now I'm thinking Joe, Shaheen, and Eva are gonna like conquer the end of this game.
Right. And
And
also, like Kyle, because even though the other people are at this reward right now, like Kyle and Camilla are feeling strong with like Joe and all of them. And
Mhm.
so back at the camp, David comments on how Kyle and Camilla are just really quiet, how everyone else is just quiet and it's freaking him out
Yeah,
because there isn't a lot of chit chat. But that's because
I think,
they just are
yeah.
cool with the plan and not worried about it.
I think
So,
Kyle is gonna get iced out by Joe because of all this stuff, all this drama. And Camilla is gonna get, obviously not included. And
mhm.
that was kind of like, so what does Camilla and Kyle think that Mary's gonna work with them now that David's out? Mary hates them. So I think Mary is gonna
Yeah,
stay longer than Kyle and Camilla at this point because Joe will tell Mary, well, who's Mary gonna listen to? She's pissed now. Oh no.
yeah,
So yeah, where are the votes gonna lay?
yeah.
Anyway, because Joe, it just looks like Joe, Shaheen, and Eva. Are they gonna bring in Mitch on them too? They're gonna. Anyway.
I think, yeah, I don't know. Well, and Mitch is kind of part of, and I think that's another thing that kind of sealed David's like fate was he really wanted to get Mitch out. Um, but like no one else did. So it just made him look bad.
Hmm.
Because obviously Mitch is off on this reward. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. So, do you remember what they were talking about at the reward? What do you remember about the reward? I remember it being
Yeah.
really like a bougie picnic, a lot of picnic foods and jellies and jams and
Yeah.
stuff
It
like
was like
that.
that.
It was kind of
Yeah, it was like
bougie.
cheese and stuff.
And
And
crackers and
basically,
sandwiches.
yes, looked
It
good.
looked good.
But
I want that now.
I know,
Okay.
right? But yeah, Mitch was like lamenting the fact that he hasn't had, an immunity necklace yet, and that he feels like it's keeping him from um being able to make any moves.
Yeah.
And then, but Mitch does bring up at that picnic that he wants to get out David. And that made like everyone kind of excited just because it's like a big move. And I think it made mostly Shaheen. He was like, oh, because I don't think Shaheen is like big on David at this point. So he comments that he's like, um, that's when he does this whole like, I've been planting the seeds or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think that.
But
I think I call bullshit on that because I don't. Oh, David did that to himself, and Kyle too.
mhm,
Like they all did that. I don't see Shaheen doing
yeah,
anything. And what is
yeah,
he gonna tell? So this is what Matt said because it shot like a little shot of Shaheen whispering to Eva, the person who
yeah,
doesn't even care about any of this.
yeah.
Like, and Matt's like, "Oh yeah, tell her. She really gives a shit." Like, oh yeah, Shaheen, go whisper to the trees about all these
Right.
things. Like, what are you talking about? It was just so
Yeah,
weird.
that is funny. He just kind of like is trying
Yeah.
to.
He's trying to take credit for all this stuff. I'm like, okay, you're not
But
getting
I'm
any
also
credit for
like,
that.
even I'm like, David kind of did it to himself. Like, you don't, he didn't need your help. But
No.
anyways, yeah. So they all like get back to the tribal, or sorry, they get back to camp after that, and David's still in like his pissy mood, and everyone's like just trying to be nice. But excuse me, but David's getting really suspicious that nobody wants to vote for Camilla because of
Hmm.
Kyle.
Hmm.
So David's like trying to convince Eva that something's going on. He's like, something's happening. And she just doesn't like the conversation because she's like, you know,
She doesn't like
basically
confrontation.
David's trying to make her go against all the people that she really trusts in the game.
Yeah.
So it's making her uncomfortable. And
Well, yeah.
yeah, everyone just starts saying David, like
Well,
slowly, yeah.
yeah, it just started leaning towards David once he started just, yeah, trying to get
Hmm.
everyone to vote for him.
Hmm.
Anyway, poor David. It came to a fast end for him. I did not expect him at all.
Yeah, and the votes were kind of between him and Mitch. So there still were, I mean, I
I
think there were
know. I
only
almost thought it was gonna be
three,
Mitch.
I think there were only three Mitch votes, and I think those were all um, David, Mary, and Star.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But well, and they actually didn't even read the all of the votes, I don't think, because he stopped once he got to the five for David. But yeah, and this is exciting because next week. Next week's tribal will be an even number, so maybe it won't be a tie because there's the numbers for one side or the other, but it could be a tie. Ties are always kind of fun.
I know. Ties are, 'cause
So,
then you have to do other things. Like, and okay, anyway.
yeah,
So last episode, we thought Mitch would go home, which, oh my gosh, we were
yeah,
so close, but no.
yeah.
So we both are now at -3.
Hmm.
So for episode 10,
Yeah.
who do you
I think
think is gonna go home?
I think sadly it's gonna be Mary because now David's gone and it's really only Mary and Star that are kind of on this like on the outs with this, you know, of what
Yeah,
the
Mary
outs of that
is on
rest of
the
that
outs.
alliance.
Yeah.
So,
She was
yeah.
the closest to David too. And I don't think
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Like Mary just is kind of like she always gets kind of. I think Mary too. I'm gonna say Mary as well.
Yeah, but she is good at kind of like hustling a lot. Like she's scrappy and survives. Like she made it through so far. So who knows what could
That's
happen.
true.
But
That's true. That's true. That's true. If not Mary, who else? We should pick two just in case.
yeah, so if not
Yes.
Mary, then I'm just gonna say Star because
I
I
know.
don't think it's gonna be a member of the other alliance, you
I need
know,
to find that
at this point.
picture.
But I think if they can get rid of anyone else first, they will before they have to start picking off each other,
I
you know.
know. Yeah. You know what though? You know what though? It could be Mitch. So you're gonna say Star?
I'm gonna say Star, Mary or Star. It's my prediction.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Mary or Mitch.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
Yep. Should be good.
Poor Matt, he's out of the running now. Hopefully he'll still
Yeah.
watch Survivor with me.
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
I'm just
He can't just
kidding.
stop.
No, he will. I'm just kidding.
Force him.
I will. That's what I know he will. Just kidding.
I like
Uh,
in our group chat your dad's or was it your mom that was like Daddy still hates how much Cedric sucks and like
yeah.
Cedric hasn't even been in it for a couple of weeks and he's still talking about it
Yeah.
and then I read that I was like updating Jeremiah as we watched on all the group chat texts and I told him that one and he was like I was just thinking about Cedric the other day and how much he sucks. I was like why is everyone so
Gosh,
obsessed
he
with him?
lives rent free in everyone's mind. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it
That's
was
funny.
funny. And also, I thought Chrissy she looked kind of different.
Yeah. Well, I
Just because
mean,
her hair is different. She was wearing glasses. And
yeah. And, not her normal, whatever, what she was wearing. I don't even remember what she was wearing on like, she was barely there at the
yeah,
island. Was she even on the
that's true.
island? Anyway, Lisa,
Yeah. Well, this has been fun. I'm
it's
excited for
always
next
fun.
week. We have to wait a whole week now.
Now we have to
Um,
actually cleanse from Survivor. We went through like a little binge, but
yeah.
now we're back on the regular Survivor schedule,
Yeah.
back to the normal rhythm.
Yep. Yep.
All
Yeah.
right.
Well, until next week, try to survive.
I will try. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. I forgot how to do this. Oh, there it is.